Hi everyone, welcome back to modeling. We're going to be working on the dwarf. It's about where we left off before my entire SSD decided to take a nosedive off of a cliff. And one of the things that's a little bit different about this one is that I think the proportions are a little bit weird in my opinion. Then again, I've never modeled a dwarf, especially the one like in the image that my brother has given me. And I think I'm going to save a lot of the work for the shape of the character in general for when he has clothing and armor on. I think it's going to look probably just like if I'm going to have to change the proportions of this character anyways, I might as well wait till a finished product because, yeah. But I've got some good progress for everyone today on this because not only do we mess around with the body a little bit, but we get the face in shape. We add some eyeballs, and most importantly, we start work on, or I think finished. I might go back to it, the add finishing touches, but we make that luscious beard we have on him over there, and that is gonna be. It turns what we have in the end from it actually resembles the human too. That's a character. Watching a 7-minute tutorial on some hair allowed me to basically make some pretty good beard hair, I guess. The method I'm using for it will be not particles because honestly, I don't know how to mess with that. Plus, I think like mesh hair for this type of art style that my brother wants is probably going to work a little bit better. But other than that, I will narrate along as we go, try to get it all correct. I'm going to start working on the nose, and the nose gave me a lot of trouble because my brother has given me kind of like a really thick nose here. So, and I want to go for it properly, but I just don't really know. Like, faces is something I struggle with a lot in Blender still, so that's probably where a lot of the issue comes from. You're going to see me struggle a lot with the mouth when we get to it. But other than that, it's like facial symmetry. I stared at a map for like maybe like 12 minutes trying to get with this. But most of the content in this is going to be the face. And then most of the other is going to be the beard or just around the head area in general, with occasional touches to the body when I inevitably get distracted, because I do get distracted a lot. I switch between Dine Topo and non-Dine Topo, and basically that allows me to draw more symmetry to maybe make it a little bit better. Dine Topo is destructive, but it's okay. I'm going to be retro apologizing anyways later. So we're going to be digging the eye holes out. And another one of the things that I'm not too sure on. One of the things I do need to add is eyebrows. Now, of course, the picture shown is that the helmet covers one of the eyes. This is fine, but I'm not about to draw only one eye. So to help myself with symmetry, I'm drawing both. And then, of course, I'll just cover it up using the helmet later. Thankfully, the tutorial I watched allowed me to basically learn how to do the tufts of hair on the fur, and I think it's going to be pretty decent. Here we're adding the eyeballs, which, if you don't know, I will be struggling with them later, because honestly, I've never really done that. Nor have I really done, like, facial movement. My brother is going to want a rendered cutscene at some point, and I'm going to have to move the mouth for that, obviously. I will not be making a video making that rendered cutscene because it's for a video game. and spoilers and all that. And it's another thing and it's why I need to be careful about this, and it's why I ask my brother a lot of stuff. But the nose comes in the shape here, and I added the eyeballs, eyebrow ridges, and then of course I just completely fumble on the mouth over and over again, and it looks so goofy. You can see me get unhappy with it over and over again, and I basically just struggle with it just like all the time. So I just say, whatever, I'm gonna continue on the nose here, and I start messing around with the face more to try to get it to where maybe I can help myself with where this mouth is going to be placed. And you'll see me mess with the nose a lot simply because I keep getting unhappy with what I have. But already the face looks actually pretty good by my standards. I'm not about to amazingly create the best model known to mankind. With every time lapse I watch of Blender, it gives me a complex. But comparison is awful. But so basically, we're gonna be messing with the nose ridge here, and that helps a lot with the whole depth situation. And what I'm going for right now is that basically I'm going to be trying to set up the head for the helmet and the beard. Now, the beard ended up being pretty easy by all things considered, but one of the things that I did struggle with a little bit is just obviously how large the beard is. But enough of that, because that's for later on the second half of this video. Here we're going to be finally adding the ears. I may have messed up the position just a tiny bit, but that's okay. It looks semi-normal in the end anyways, and I moved it around a lot with the brushes. What we're going to be doing is going to be subdividing it, and then we're going to remesh it to the model again, which may cause some detail loss all over, but it's fine all around, and it's worth it anyways. Because I didn't want to draw out the ears myself using Dine Topo, because honestly that's kind of odd for me to do, and it's a little bit awkward. And here's where, once again, my lack of experience with the human body shows, because ears don't really point forward. And I will be trying to fix this till the end of my days, basically. But, it's basically where we're at with the ear situation. You'll see me come back to it later. But once again, we're using Dine Topo to kind of dig into the ear, as weird as that sounds. Drawing it, and you can see it definitely take shape. And one of the things about modeling is just why does it never look good to me? But I think if I can look at this and I can go, oh, that's a person, and you know what? That's victory. And I'm adding the layers to it, and it's a little bit odd. And I think one of the things I need to work on the most is with just scripting and what to say in general. I feel like hopefully when I get better at Blender, I'll have more to say instead of just fluffing it up with random words in between important things happening. Or maybe I just need to speed up the videos more. The video you're watching right now is already 250% speed. Maybe I just need to increase it more, because if I can't say anything of substance really, then I don't really need to be saying anything at all. Because what do I say here aside from we're going to be adding detail to the ear or the earlobe? I I don't really know. But I'm just going around with Dine Topo. And it's good to watch your vertex count when you use Dine Topo, just in case. But I'm keeping it actually pretty low. I'm still under 500,000 vertexes, so it's all clear there. And it looks a little bit weird when I hit the front-facing camera, the shape. But it looks like pretty decent from the side. It's a little bit odd. I'm not really sure how to feel about that. And here we have me trying to add more detail to the nose. Which, honestly, I think facial stuff like the nose and the ears kind of just comes with vibes. Because I have it on my second monitor. I stare at like a human face reference. And I just can't get it right no matter what. So I'm just going to have to assume it just comes with vibes over time. And we skipped a little bit forward there. Because unfortunately, I forgot to record. That's my bad. Once again, just literally teleport forward in time. Because, of course. And I apologize for that. But at least we're moving on to the fun part, I guess. So, I'm using a path and a circle to make the tufts of hair. Hooray! And you're going to see what that looks like in general, and I do struggle with it because I like move around the mirror a little bit. It's Alt-S to scale the path, because I don't know, but I tried using S to scale and it just didn't work. Basically, with the modifier, you copy the object to the circle, and you can mess around with the scale and how it's placed of the circle to change the look of the NURBS path and how it looks. And this allows you to create a tuft of hair, obviously. I make a couple circles and a couple different paths to try to get different looks all around. And I start with symmetry, but in a future reference, I am going to be adding some asymmetrical tufts of hair so that it looks more wild instead of this was made in a computer. So hopefully that works a little bit better. But you're gonna see it all take shape here in a moment, because that mug, it's about to get a beautiful beard. And you know what? I hope people skip to the end just to see what I've done. Because if you don't want to watch the entire thing, I hope you at least look at the very end, to where, honestly, probably my best work on a human-like face, because I struggle with those a lot. But honestly, adding hair and stuff just makes it so much better. The first part to add is the mustache. And then we start with the base. And I get like, this thought process in my head is like, you start with like more detailed tufts near like the chin. And then it gets like more broad, I guess, as you go down, to maybe like save on vertex count and just of how it looks in general. But basically, I'm just going to be duplicating the tufts, messing around with the scaling, just over and over again. And I would be lying if I didn't say that I may have looked at a lot of Deep Rock Galactic pictures just to try to figure out what this might look like in better detail. What an amazing game. I have spent too much time staring at a gold rock. That's it. That's all I have. But we're adding a different circle now. And this will allow for different detail, of course. And you can see it in the picture in the back. The beard goes down to his stomach. I feel like I needed to increase the length, even though I've already made the length like super long. You know, it's this is a very handsome young lad. You know what I'm saying? And he has a magnificent beard. And when I get to texturing it, I hope it's amazing. But speaking of texturing it, I don't really know how. I wonder if I'll have to just convert it into a mesh and then just go from there. Or I can just apply a base shader to it. I am not sure. But this is where we start adding volume to it. I start wrapping it around the chin and a lot of things. And I mean, already it looks like it adds so much to the face and the head shape in general, which is a lot for me, because it always looks so odd with there's nothing there. There's no textures, no eyes, no pupils, no hair. And at this point is around the time that I usually just give up because I get depressed because it just doesn't look like anything. But after I started adding the hair, like, my spirits instantly rose because it made him look like something that I could possibly actually maybe see in a video game, which is where he's going. One of the things I do struggle with is the beard is like the clipping issues. Although I don't really think that's all too much of a problem, I'm going to be honest. It's a first-person game. You're not going to really be looking at it. And the reason why I'm modeling it for a first-person game, I don't know if I said this, is because, of course, there's cutscenes. My brother wants in-game cutscenes and a rendered cutscene. So we needed a model anyhow. And you know what? It'll help me with my modeling skills. That's where we're going with this. But now I'm adding the longer portion of the beard. And honestly, right now it kind of looks like Cthulhu a little bit. I don't know why, because I thought it was funny when I was making the model, and I just kind of stared at it a couple of times where I'm like, it looks like Cthulhu. It's like face tendrils thing. But once again, the hardest part about this is just the shape. The NURBS paths are weird on how you move it around and rotate it and mess with the circle. You can see there that it kind of just like inverts in some spots, which is a little bit odd. So trying to get the correct shape and just the thickness in general is a little bit hard. But it looks like hair. It looks like a beard, and that's, of course, just the end goal. And the points usually don't have like a close-in point at the end, but you have to set the scale to 0. If you do that, of course, you get the pointy ends instead of the empty cylinder that I had at the start of this when I first started messing with this. But overlaid on this like thick beard is going to be the tiny, more detailed tufts that you see on the picture in the back. And that adds so much to the look of the beard in general. But I'm skipping ahead, obviously. And overall, I'm trying to go fast. I'm not trying to waste your guys' time with just the over and over and over and over. And it's kind of why I've been slower with uploading, because there's more time put into this than anything. And because I got stuffy again. Because I'm not trying to waste your guys' time. Like, oh, I'm just doing the same thing, talking about the same stuff over and over again. That's just no good. So I'm probably going to be moving into harder, longer time lapses mostly. maybe 300% because I am running out of stuff to say near the ends of these videos. And I want to push forward really hard into a actual animation like the one I was making before my SSD jumped off aforementioned cliff. But the little tufts of hair will go over the main beard tufts. Yes, that sounds correct. And you can one of the part of the jump earlier is that the body has a lot more shape to it now. The arms look a little bit less weird, but like his limbs are like wide, and it's part of the like the art style of the dwarf that my brother has made. So I'm probably gonna have to make them wider, especially for when we get to the armor and gauntlets and stuff. I'm gonna have to make the fingers wider, honestly, because they're a little bit too thin right now. Just gonna have to do it all. But look at that handsome young man, or old. I'm not sure what age he is in my brother's world. But, well, other than that, that is pretty much what I have for all of you. Going to be finishing up. But other than that, thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.